Hi, and welcome to Take Over My Makeover. I'm Alisa Paganis with Pagani Hair Color and Design in Riverside. And today we'll be showing you a few different techniques and tips so that you can take home with makeup. This is Grace, my model for today. Thank you, Grace, for coming in.
No problem.
With Grace, we're going to show you a little bit of contouring, a little bit of brow grooming, and then we'll go into some light makeup techniques. But it's always good to start with a great foundation. First things first, we need to moisturize. So after you have a clean, dry face, go ahead and grab your moisturizer. Put some moisturizer in your hand, and what we're going to do to step up this moisturizer just a little bit is take some foundation, put a couple drops of that foundation in with the moisturizer, and then emulsify it very, very well. After you've emulsified in your hands, go ahead all over your face as if you're putting on sunscreen. You want to make sure you get every single spot so that you don't leave tint any heavier in one area versus another. Most moisturizers have SPFs also, so it gives you just a little bit extra protection in the sun because you really want to keep that skin healthy looking and young, and that means staying out of the sun. Now that we have Grace's moisturizer with foundation applied all over her face, we're actually going to grab a tiny bit of concealer, but only a teeny bit. What we're going to do is take something that is a few shades lighter than the color of foundation that we used. In this case, we're going to take this color here. Go ahead and take your ring finger because it has the lightest touch and swirl it around in your foundation. Or if you are using a bottle or a cream, go ahead and put a couple drops right on your finger. Using that ring finger, you want to just dab underneath the eye and all over the lid. Don't be afraid to grab some more, and don't be afraid to overuse this product, as it looks easy to do, but you're going to blend it all later. So if you feel a little too bright, don't fret. We'll clean it up. Go ahead and open your eye and look up. So very, very gently underneath your eye. And you can use a tapping technique, which helps you to push that product into the skin. Also, that tapping technique on the whole perimeter of this area in which you put the concealer is going to help you blend that in to the other colors. Now, for the other eye. This just brightens us up a little bit. And you know, with makeup, it's important to be bright around the eyes, especially in the corners, on the tops of the cheekbones, and a little bit brighter in your T-zone. I almost poked you in the eye there, Tootsie. Go ahead and close your eye. Okay, open it up. We'll use that tapping technique. You're a good model. Strong eyes. Okay, now that we have her concealer on, we're going to go ahead and set everything with a very light translucent powder. What I chose for Grace was something with a little bit of a shimmer to it. It really helps you look bright and fresh. With our powder, sometimes if it's a loose powder, go ahead and tap a little bit out into the lid of the canister that it came in. Swirl your brush around, and then you need to tap your brush, just to rid your brush of the excess powder. Then, starting with the nose, come down the center here, in the eyes, and now you're kind of pressing this. You're not swiping, you're pressing. You can use very, very light swipes, but pressing is more effective. Now we're putting a little bit of a sheen on her face that will reflect the light outside, and she'll look a little bit sun-kissed. So we're on our way to sun-kissed. Secondly, we want to use a blush. Now your blush or your bronzer needs to be placed on the underside of your cheekbone. A good way to find this is to make a fish face. Now with Grace's fish face, we can see where, it's silly, but it's really effective. We can see where her bone structure comes in right here, you know, where it ends. So we want to put the darkest color underneath, right in that little well there. So I'm going to take some dark powder, darker, and in circular motions, come down and go back up. You're making a little C into that area here and up around the eyes, softly though. I'd rather you use the product over and over again, going back in for more rather than placing too much at first. So it's very, very important to tap or wipe off your brush, get rid of that excess product. Okay, and other side. Is your fishy face getting stuck? You're okay? What I also like to do is, without putting any new product on the brush, after I'm done with contouring the cheeks, take the excess, go lightly over the rest of the face, very lightly, and down the neck. Don't forget the neck, because a lot of times, our face will be a lot darker than our neck because it shadows our neck. So in order to blend, we'll just put a little extra down there. Now, we're going to take a highlighting color. And a highlighting color can be anything from a pink to a beigey white. Something with a shimmer with it in it is the perfect product because we really want the light to reflect off of this product. Since Grace is a little more fair, I'm going to take this lighter product. Light color, tap it off. Now, we don't need her to make the fishy face anymore because we know where it is. Since we had her make that, we put in her contour color, which was the bronzer. Now we're going right above that color, very lightly. You don't really want to see too much of this product, you just want to see the light reflecting off of this product. Again in the T-zone. Fantastic. Now what we'll do is a little bit of shadow. We're going to do something very, very light and neutral, almost as if she doesn't have makeup on. We just want to highlight her features. Makeup can make you look like a completely different person, but it really is made and was invented just to highlight what's beautiful about ourselves. Go ahead and close your eyes. So now I'm using a very, very light color to go over her entire lid. Again, with this product, this is a little less loose, so I don't really need to tap too much. I'm gonna go over the eyes here. Give her a clean, fresh looking face. And then I'm going to go in with a light brown just in the corner here. Just to accent a little bit of depth there to make the top of her lid really pop. Again, don't worry about putting this on too heavily because you can blend it in using your finger or another brush. So this was our real quick contouring lesson to help you prep your face and contour so that you're ready for your next stages. A heavier eye, maybe a real poppy lip. We'll be back. Hello and welcome back to Take Over My Makeover. In this edition, we have been doing makeup tips and we're going to show you a couple eye techniques with Sam, my model here. You ready, Sam? Yep. We went ahead and prepped Sam's face. So what we did was put a little bit of foundation, just a couple drops, in some moisturizer and applied it over her entire face. Then secondly, we contoured her. We made her make a little fishy face. And in the little dent that is created from the fishy face, we put our deeper color. We put a little bit of a lighter color on top and a lighter color to highlight the T-zone. So forehead, nose, and chin. This gives you a little bit of a sun-kissed look, a healthy glow. So since we prepped Sam's whole face, now we'll go in, first things first, with a little bit of a light base. When you're applying eyeshadow, you always want to start with your lightest color and work to the darkest color, no matter where on the eyelid or underneath the eyelid they're being placed. So in Sam's case, we're going to start with a very, very buffy colored shadow. We want to really, really rub that brush into the palette, but then we want to snap off or shake off any of the drop off, what we call. Go ahead and close your eyes, Sam. Starting with her left eye, we're pressing the powder all over the lid. Make sure you get into the corner, all the way out to the edge, all over. You could even come down a little bit below the corner of the eye. Now that she has this lid done, we can go on to the second. Sometimes if you're swiping the eyeshadow, you're actually pulling off more than you're applying. This is why I really like this technique of patting or blotting the color into the lid. Now that Sam is all ready with her lightest color, we're going to go a couple shades deeper into a pink tone. I think that'll look really, really pretty with her complexion. This pinky peachy tone, we're not going to apply over the entire lid. We'll take it halfway. So go ahead and close your eye. We're going to come just into the bottom part there and a little bit high in the corner. So over the bottom part of the lid, under the crease, and a little bit into the corner. If you feel as if the color looks too concentrated, don't get nervous, because you can always take a clean brush and swirl and blend those colors together. They come off pretty easily. Now that we have Sam's second color done, we're gonna go into her third color. With this, we'll be using a brown. We're using kind of a lighter brown. We don't want to get into a heavy evening look, but more day into evening look. I would recommend you use any brushes that are comfortable for you. Makeup artists have definitely their favorites, as I do, but I don't really think there's any right or wrong as far as your choice of brush. If you're getting the powder, the product, to do exactly what you need it to do, go with it. Go ahead and close your lid. So, with brown colors for Sam's eye here, what we're going to do is come right above that lash line in the corner, all the way across, and then we're going to come above her crease. Not covering the entire lid, we want to still keep an area there that has the lighter color on it. Now, something good to think about, and this is a great trick to keep at home. Whether you are just shaping your brows through wax, tweezing, or using eyeshadow and placement. Where and how far out should we go here? How do we figure this out? You can take a pencil or your brush, line it up with the corner of your nose, and have it come directly out to the side. Where that brush ends, or pencil, whatever you're using, is where that line should end, and it also indicates the angle in which the powder should sit. When you're contouring your brows, you come right into the center, or the side of the nose here rather, directly upward. The inside of your brow should end at the very furthest point of that brush or whatever you're using to do this. So now that we have that eye done, and you have a couple more tricks, we'll get into this eye. Thin line all the way along the lash line, up the corner, above the crease. Give myself a little cheater there. So right now, it looks pretty heavy, but that's not a big deal because we're going to blend. You can blend actually, not usually, always, with a clean brush with no product on it, or a product that is very, very light. In Sam's case, I'm going to use this buff color that just has a real light shimmer. Close your eye. Since this does have a little glitter in it, it's fun to go right above the cheekbone here with this light color, just for a little added flair. So even though it's super soft, no matter where she turns, she's gonna grab the light and reflect it, and it's gonna make your eyes sparkle like they are right now. Now that we have the majority of her shadow on, we're gonna go in with shadow and line her eyes. To do this, I prefer a small angled brush that's pretty thin. You want the bristles to be pretty tight. You don't want them to move too much, to be too soft. For this job, I like to use the darkest color possible that isn't black. You're more than welcome to use black, but for Sam's look, I don't think it's necessary. So, Sam's having her eyes closed. Thank you so much. I'm going to come a little bit beyond where her eyelid actually ends, where her lash line ends. La. Make up a song. Okay, Sam, open your eye. Go ahead and look up. Now we're going to come underneath. And as you can see, I have this brush very angled, so it doesn't put too heavy of a line up against her bottom lid here. Don't be afraid of the corners though. You can get in there. And again, this also, we're going to soften. Go ahead and close. Open. Doing a great job, Sam. Thank you so much. Close. Okay, so since all of her shadow's on, I'm going to get the excess of that buff glittery color off of this brush. Close your eye and just dab and pull that brush a tiny bit. Go ahead and look up. Okay. From this point, all we need to do is add some mascara. So I would recommend curling your lashes using a curling iron, or a lash curler, and I was looking for my curler. And a good little tip for this too, take your blow dryer, go over your lash curler, and then hold it onto the lash about 5 seconds or so, and apply your mascara. Stay tuned, we'll see you soon. Welcome back to Take Over My Makeover. Here we are with my two models, Sam and Grace. And we had shown a couple techniques for eye makeup, contouring, and so on in the last few episodes of this. So we're just going to continue with some Q&A and a couple ideas for lips. Since we went over foundation, prepping the skin, making sure you moisturize, maybe adding a little concealer, to contouring underneath the cheekbone, highlighting above the cheekbone in the T-zone. Then we created a fresh palette ready for beautiful eyeshadow. We took some very natural shades here with Sam. Just to overview, we went over the lid completely with a very light bone buffy color. Then we went back in with a very peachy pink color on the lighter end, just onto the lower side of the lid. To finish off, we took a brown, taupey-ish brown, and went above the crease and below the crease, lining the entire lash line. We then took a clean brush, we went ahead and swirled it in to blend it all together. Just a reminder, don't be too afraid. If the shadow's going on too heavily, you can always blend it or brush it right away. With my little friends here, we went ahead and did the contouring. We cleaned up both girls' brows in the meantime, giving you a great little trick in knowing where the brows should start and stop. We'll use Sam again as an example. Lining this brush or pencil or pen up against the side of your nose, straight up through the corner of your eye, will show you where the brow should begin. Where should the brow end, as well as your eye makeup? Well, go ahead and put that brush over on an angle from the corner of the nose up through the side, and that will show you where the brow should end, as well as where the eyeshadows should end. It's very important not to go past this line because if there is too much shadow, especially a heavier color, coming down and low, it brings the entire illusion of the eye down. It doesn't keep you bright and open. So don't forget about that. Lighter colors in the center are really important to really pop the eye. It brings out the color of your eye. And then it also plays beautifully against whatever deeper color you're putting in this corner or on top of the lid. Nice and contrasting. Whether they're very complementary colors or very bold in contrast, it's a good idea to go from dark to light, unless you're doing avant-garde work. So we're going to give you a couple more tips about lips, and then we're going to do our question and answer, ladies. So I'll go with the lip tip first. If you want to make your lip look any fuller, you can do a couple things. Lighter colors and some with sparkles or a shimmer tend to reflect the light, so they'll really make the color pop, the lip pop. Light colors come out at you and dark colors recede. So this is a really good thing to know with dressing, with makeup. So what do you want? I want my lips to look a little fuller. So I put lighter colors on to make them come out and be a little lighter than my skin tone. With Sam, we're going to put just a little bit of gloss that has a very heavy shimmer. However, we're going to then blend it out to make it look nice and soft. Now, you can go ahead and line your lip. She has beautiful lips, so we don't need to really change the illusion of what's happening with her lip, but that's only preference and just keeping her makeup soft for a day into evening. If Sam wanted to turn her look into an evening look, she can go into the corners with a heavier color, just to emphasize that, make it a little deeper, a little poppier, and then go in with a lip liner, line the outside of the entire lip, sitting on the vermilion border, they call it, where the skin meets the line of the lip. Then going over it with a lip gloss or shadow. If we want, again, that lip to pop a little more, to look a little bit fuller, there's an additional trick. We're going to show you here. Go ahead and open your mouth a tiny bit. Let's come this way a little bit. So we're going to line her entire lip. Look at me a little bit more. And the trick doesn't come in this border lining, but the shading that we're going to do actually inside the lip. So you see I'm taking a color that's very close to her lip color. This is the trick. We're going to make a V from the points of the lip coming downward on her top lip. Open your mouth. And we're going to fill in that entire section. Play with this idea and make that V a little wider and a little thinner and see how the illusion of the lip changes. So since we only wanted to make her top lip look a little fuller, we're only going to put that V on the top lip. You're more than welcome to enhance your bottom lip also by doing this. Just make sure your triangle has the smaller ends towards the top of the lip going out wider towards the bottom. Now, when we put a gloss over, it creates this illusion that there is a little more fullness to the lip. You're more than welcome to use, of course, a gloss or a lipstick. A lot of girls today are putting a lipstick on and then a gloss over, just to give it a really shiny pop like you see in the magazines. So there are our lip techniques for today. Girls, what questions do you have for me?
Are there any tips to make your lashes look longer?
Absolutely. There's a couple things that you can do. Aside of working with products on the market today that have some primers that you go over your lash with first, usually it's white. So you go ahead and prep that lash with the white side. It comes double-sided. Let it dry and then use the black side to go over. One more thing is that if you angle your head backward while you're looking into your mirror, it allows yourself more space for your lashes to move with the brush of your mascara wand. So go ahead and tilt your head back and apply your lashes. Thirdly, and the last tip that I have for you for this question is to curl the lashes before and after the mascara is on. Is that helpful? Fantastic. How about you?
How dark is too dark with foundation?
Dark is too dark if your neck and your match don't match. Your neck and your face don't match. So we want to make sure we keep those colors very similar. Generally, our faces are always a little bit darker than our neck. So we're always looking to match our face color. You can go ahead and test foundations by just putting a little swipe at your jawline here to see how it looks against the neck and the face to see if it's a complementary tone. If it's a little bit deeper than your skin, that's fine. You could either use it a little deeper and lighten it with a translucent powder, or do our little moisturizer trick and then dilute your foundation with the moisturizer. So, anything else, girls? That's it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's all I have.
My last thing to share with everybody that I'm really adamant about is healthy living for great skin and good skincare. So important what you put inside of your body, because there isn't any moisturizer out there that's going to fix anything, any health issues. So make sure you're eating really good foods, taking your vitamins, talk to your doctor about fish oils and wonderful supplements that can help you. And I'm sure he'll have some more tips for you. So with all of this, I hope you girls were able to go home with a couple things that you can do on your own. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Thanks, girls. And thank you for sharing this episode of us with our little makeup tips on Take Over My Makeover.